Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Start with Julian and Ava. So, at this point, Ava's done. And she pretty much pulls out a gun. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, are you really actually going to go through this? Like, are we really doing this? Like, she's literally prepared to just take this guy out for the betterment of humanity at this point. She was like, you know what, listen, either Sunny's going to kill you, or Sider's going to kill you, and both of them are going to do it slow. So, I'm doing you a favor. And the whole time, even in the beginning, Julian was, well, at this point, being Julian. Just shifting blame. It's always somebody else's fault, and I didn't know, and yada, yada, yada. And I'm just sitting there thinking, bro, you put a bomb in a crowded place. What did you think was going to happen? The fact that he tried to find some sort of way to make excuses of, oh, well, I didn't know, Cyrus lied to me. And they even yelled at him like, of course he does, because he's a liar. I'm not going to lie, I had to pause it and laugh my ass off. I'm like, so let me get this straight. You telling me that a world-renowned drug dealer lied to you? Really? That is shocking. I would never think that somebody who went to jail for pretty much selling drugs would lie to you, Julian. I couldn't make this up. Like, when he said that, I was like, wow. And you said that with a straight face. And this is how Julian was for most of the time when he was sitting there talking to Ava. So at this point, I'm like, Julian, you can just go now. You can just, I'm done. I'm done. This version of you, no. Just no. So, they're talking, and, Ava, pretty much gets them to go outside or whatever, because she's like, I don't want to sit there and have to clean this up. It's a lot easier to clean up in the rain. And at this point, she's pretty much about to pull the trigger. She's like, is there any last words you want to sit there and say? Now, meanwhile, you got Sunny and Jason sitting there talking about how to deal with Julian. And, Jason's like, we can flip him, we can make him work for us, don't burn him just yet, and Sonny's like, yo, I want to just take him out. But, they come to the conclusion of they're going to go over Ava's house again, or Ava's place at, Windermere. They get there, and right as, Ava's about to sit there and pull the trigger, she gets distracted by them walking in. And, the whole time, when Julian's going towards the cliff, he keeps sitting there looking, over, like we already know at this point he's going to jump over. Okay? We already know it. It's already been written. It's been written in his face the entire time he was staring at the water. So he jumps. He gets that window opportunity, and he jumps. While they're distracted. And, they get inside, and this is when Sonny's like, why didn't you call me? You still love him, this, that, and the third. And, Jason goes downstairs or whatever, goes outside, and he's like, I don't see him. And, when Sonny gets back to his place, Jason's like, what if he's still alive? And, Sonny's like, if he's still alive, then he's gonna wish that he's dead. AKA torture. Now, towards the end of the episode, you see Julian that is lying face down, unconscious. So, I guess we got a couple more scenes with him. Because as you know, the actor has decided to, I don't know if he's decided to leave or if they firing him, but he's going. He's going. So, at some point, he's going to be gone. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see Ava, shooting Julian. I didn't see that. I didn't see that was a outcome. You know, because Julian's like, you're my sister, I'm your brother, I'm your brother, I'm your brother, and after a while it was like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care. So, yeah, I guess we're gonna just wait and to see how many more scenes we got with Julian or the actor. I have no idea. Now let's talk about Cyrus and Curtis. I mean, Curtis and Jordan. So they're on Sonny's private jet, and they're strategizing what they're gonna do when they get to Mexico. I'm just sitting there thinking, the whole time that Jordan was all like, I don't need you, yada yada yada, Sonny, I don't need to sit there and work with y'all, y'all criminals, this, that, and third. You certainly seem pretty cozy up in this jet. Where do all that bravado go? Where do all that, the high morals and, I don't work with criminals and we don't need to sit there and work with them. And yet you're sitting there flying around the world on this jet. Wow. So they get to Mexico. And they get to the facility where Cyrus is holding someone or whatever, and Jordan and Curtis come up with this plan that Curtis is gonna sit there and Jordan is Curtis' assistant, and Jordan and Curtis pretty much just like starts yelling at her and saying you're useless, this, that, and the third, because they want to sit there and take a tour of the facility for some made-up BS story that Curtis came up with. But the woman's like, it's late, we can't do it right now, and Curtis is like, this is all your fault, you're useless, yada, 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 just playing on this woman's emotions of, oh, well, let me help her out. Which, that's exactly what she does. She decides to get the security guard to have them take a look around the room, around the facility, while Jordan goes on the computer and see what she can dig up. So towards the end, they're back on this plane, and I guess she finds some stuff about Cyrus. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was I think it was a name. I think it was like Larry or something. So I guess we'll wait and see. Now, Lulu. Here's the thing about Lulu and this goodbye. Everyone is there. You got Charlotte, you got Valentine, you got Nina, you got Nicholas, you got Laura, Tracy, Kevin. I feel like I'm getting tired just saying all these names. You got Dante, and I feel like I'm missing someone, but whatever. So they all come there to say their goodbyes, and even Maxine. And I'm not gonna lie, this is supposed to be a scene, it's supposed to be a very touching scene, and everyone says their goodbyes. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I think the best person, like the best goodbye scene that I liked, was Valentine. Because everyone else loved her. Tracy, Laura, everyone loved her. Valentine really didn't have any use for her, and to be honest, he really didn't like her, but, he had to put that aside. He had to sit there and put a lot of stuff aside for the better good of his daughter. And, he finally, unfortunately, comes too late to really fully grasp that, he needs Lulu in his life for the sake of Charlotte. So, he says his heartfelt goodbye, which I thought was the best. And everyone says goodbye before they whisk her off to this unknown facility until we get a new Lulu. Because let's be honest, that's exactly what it is. And I'm not going to lie, besides Valentine's goodbye, I pretty much just like, so this needs to be over. Listen, I was never a fan of this new Lulu. I felt like the way that she performed was, it was a little bit more than decent. Now, again, I'm a little more old school, going back to Julia. So this woman coming in was like, I'm not really a fan, but I don't hate her either, so whatevs. But she did a good job for the role that she was in, and I really do feel like she did make her own. So I give her props for that, because she did play Lulu a lot different than the previous one. Whether you like that version or not is really up to you, but she did a good enough job. But with that being said, I think this was her last day, and I think that's why so many people came there to say goodbye. And of course, Tracy was sitting there talking about, oh, well, we was trying to get, Luke here, but, he was off somewhere, and, here's the thing. I really do feel like maybe, Luke, the actor, Tony, should have probably came back for at least this one, since it was his daughter. And I also do think that Lucky should have came back, because it's his sister. But for whatever odd reason that is beyond my comprehension, apparently, they can be bothered to actually bring Lucky back. And if they can't bring back the original actor or the one that went over the days, they could have brought in someone, Like somebody's sister is in a coma, they got hurt. I am taking the first flight, the first train, I don't care how I'm going to get there, I am getting there. So the fact that they weren't there at all is like... And I know Luke has always been an absentee dad, but damn. He was there when it counted a lot of times. But it is what it is. What else happened? I think I mentioned Charlotte was there, and she was just there to say goodbye to Lulu, just like Nina was. So, besides the characters that I named, they didn't really do anything outside of saying goodbye to Lulu. Even Dante. Dante was there, and all he did was say goodbye to Lulu. Everyone was there. They said their goodbyes. Now, Cyrus was sitting there talking to Portia earlier, and he was asking about an update, and he was like, you got to do everything in your power to save her, and yada, yada, yada. And Portia was just like, you know what? You don't need to be anywhere near that family. It's just not a good idea. Trust me. So, of course, when Laura and other people or whatever are walking towards, Cyrus or whatever, I was going to think of Cyrus, you might want to just turn right back around. I know you see her, she sees you. You might want to just head the other way. Because you standing there talking to her is not going to end well. It's not. And he starts talking to Laura, and he's all like, if it's anything I could do, and yada, yada, yada. I'm sitting there looking at the watch like, alright, so how long is it going to take before she slaps the piss out of him? And I'm just counting down. Just like 5, 4, 3, 2. Not yet? Oh, he's not done talking? Well, I know she's going to cut him off at some point. But yeah, she just wails on his face. And I'm like, you had that coming and then some. You should have known that was going to happen. And at this point, Laura was like, she pretty much gave her threats as far as like, when I find out you did it, yada, yada, yada. And at this point, Cyrus is just dead serious. Cyrus is like, you do what you gotta do. This wasn't I'm trying to be charming, I'm trying to be nice, I'm trying to be super fake. This was just dead serious Cyrus. And you know what? I will say this again because I know I'm going to sound like a broken record. But as I said, someone has to die for everyone else to live. And I swear I know that she was mad and that happened. But going forward, I think that Laura needs to be a little more careful being around Cyrus, threatening him, because I know right now she feels like she has nothing to lose. But just keep in mind that she does have other family that he can target at any point in time. And she should keep that in mind, because she forgets Lulu, Dev, Dustin, and Maxie also came to say goodbye. 1 second. Now when Maxie came in, Maxie talked to Brando, and she gave her condolences about Dev, and she found out that Sasha had a heart attack because of drugs. I don't know if that was a good idea. I don't know. I don't remember who actually said that. Because if it was either one of the doctors, I don't know if it was Portia or somebody that said that. But I'm like, if somebody from the hospital said that, I'm like, once again, violating HIPAA. Does no one care about HIPAA at this point? No one? We just do what we want? I don't remember. I don't know if it was I don't know if it was somebody from the hospital or someone. But anyway, when Sasha, when Maxie found out, she was like, she got to cancel all these plans and stuff like that because she was really shocked. She kept saying she was so young at first, and then she found out why. And I don't know, her attitude sort of changed. And I mean, I know she said she was going to go and see her, but she kind of had this attitude of like, ugh, such a mess, and I got to sit there and cancel all these plans and stuff like that. I was like, yo, you do realize that she is in the hospital, right? Like, you might want to show a little bit more, like, empathy or sympathy. It was sort of the same thing with, Sam, when she was talking about Dev, like, oh, yeah, he was such a good kid. Wow, sweetheart, you actually had no emotion whatsoever when we were sitting there talking about Dev. Yep, I feel like that's about it. I feel like that's everything that happened in this episode. I don't think I really missed anything. And if I did, I don't think it was really that important. But I'm looking forward to tomorrow's episode because I know that Sam and Carly are going to get into it more about, it not being a life for Sam anymore because of her kids. And she brings Jocelyn into it. And I know because Carly was like, don't put Jocelyn's name into this. So I can't wait to find out what's going to wind up happening. Like I said, unless Sam goes into WICSEC or, undercover or whatever, change her name, hair color and other stuff like that, they're not going to stop looking for her, And honestly, to tell you, I'm not going to lie, I'm actually surprised because she was like, she never had to look over her shoulders when she was with Patrick, and I'm like, really? Because just because Jason was gone doesn't mean, like, his enemies weren't, like, circling the waters. And if they were and they didn't come after you, you need to sit there and be thankful to Sonny. Because he made sure that you were protected. Somehow she forgot that when she was including her whole, I had such a better life when I was with Patrick. Like, she didn't have guardian angels, aka Sonny's bodyguards, that they're looking out for her behind the shadows. But whatever. Anyway, with that being said, that's enough of my rant. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you thought of this episode. And yeah. Have a good night or day. I'll catch you in tomorrow's episode or review.